Welcome to a special edition of Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. For those of you that are regulars to my channel, welcome back. And you might recall I started making these videos in 2020 as I participated in the annual international event known as Tour de Fleece. For those of you that are new to my channel, welcome. And I hope that something in this video will inspire you or entertain you, or just inform you about something maybe you know a little bit about, maybe you know a lot about. If you decide that my style of video is something you're interested in, please take a moment to subscribe or at least hit like. It does help the algorithm. And while I am all about making these videos just to share the joy, it is nice to get a little bit of feedback. It is nice for YouTube to recognize my efforts by actually sharing my video with more viewers. So, with that out of the way, let's get into answering the question of what is Tour de Fleece? First and foremost, let me be clear. There is no connection, to my knowledge, between Tour de Fleece and the Tour de France. Tour de Fleece has been inspired by this wonderful internationally acclaimed cycling race. And a number of years ago, a group of spinners of the spinning wheel fiber variety, who were also fans of the cycling event, created this idea we now call Tour de Fleece. Since its early days, it has blossomed, it's changed formats, it's gone from just a website to being part on a lot of activity on the social networking site called Ravelry. It's branched out. You can find it on Facebook, Instagram. I know that Discord has some groups that do the Tour de Fleece. So you can find Tour de Fleece in quite a number of different channels and avenues, and at one time, before the quarantine year for 2020, quite a number of yarn stores and fiber store suppliers would hold Tour de Fleece events. And there are those coming back in force, but on the internet, in a virtual way, Tour de Fleece is huge. It has quite the following, because it is an opportunity for spinners to get together, oftentimes just virtually, but get together and spin for a goal, spin for fun, spin for camaraderie. And that is at the heart of it, the essence of Tour de Fleece. It is an opportunity for spinners to get together and spin, whether it is in the same room or whether it is clear across the world from each other. It is an opportunity for us to spin. So, one of the things that I am doing as we get prepared for Tour de Fleece 2024 is I am making a compilation of the videos I recorded that first year. My first year of recording the videos, I could not speak to the camera like this. Almost all of the videos are from an angle over the top or from the side, showing what I'm doing, but not with any audible contribution on my part. It's music. They were short videos, oftentimes between 3 to 7 minutes, and they covered a wide range of spinning and spinning related topics, because I was recording a video for each day of Tour de Fleece. It was showing my progress through the event. So there are days when I'm spinning on a wheel. I could be spinning on a spindle. But there were also days that I was applying dye to the fiber that I was planning to spin. There are also times I will use a drum carder and a blending board. And so I've tried to make a compilation of those videos as, I guess you could say, background noise for the spinners out there who might be interested in just having some collected 30 minutes or so of spinning to spin along with. For those of you that have followed me a long time, or those of you that are coming here because you're wondering about the event, you might find these compilation videos. There are 3 of them, and I will release them sporadically over the month of June. You might find these compilation videos interesting to go and watch and pause because they show how I specifically, in usually high speed, how I oftentimes work with my fibers, prepare my fibers. I will show my dyeing technique, and my dyeing technique is very random. It is very seldom something that could be reproduced. I have taken the time, especially in 2020, I took the time to share on Ravelry. I had a large spinning project that I did because in 2022, they weren't really sure if we were going to have Tour de Fleece in the usual July timeframe or later because the race itself, Tour de France, had been postponed or delayed. As it turned out, those of us on Ravelry, we chose to do 2 events that year. And in the second event, I ended up dyeing up yarn for a big project I wanted to do for that Christmas. And so I call those videos the Countdown to Christmas Collection. And you can find those videos. There are playlists on my channel if you go and check. Some that will give you little snapshots of things, but then there are playlists that show all my Tour de Fleece, my spin-alongs, and the other crafts that I'm interested in. So take an opportunity if you want to, and check out my playlists, because I do try to separate my different content into more easily sourceable, findable categories. But I shared how I do my dye process. I shared on Ravelry all of my, I was dyeing hanks like this, okay, these braids. I was dyeing these up in different colorways for the project that I was working on. And I shared all of those in projects in my Ravelry account. So, and on Ravelry, I'm Pioneer Lady, so it's easy to find me. Okay, so back to the topic of Tour de Fleece though. I made these compilation videos because they show different techniques that I used. I think there might be a drum carder one that year. I do know that in the subsequent years, I've used the drum carder more often. And I have a couple videos that actually show me using the different tools. I have a playlist that shows all of the videos that are specific to using the different tools that I have. So if you are new to spinning or just curious about the topic, I recommend you check out those playlists and check out the ones that tool specific. Some of them are, spin-alongs. I've done a Vlogmas a couple years ago that every single day counting down to Christmas, I spun another handful of yarn. And I talk about different topics. Last year during Tour de Fleece, I picked a different spinning related or fiber related topic to talk about as I spun my way through Tour de Fleece. So there's a lot of information out there, and some of it is a little easier to find than others. For instance, spinning from the cloud. Oh my goodness. I think spinning from the cloud and scouring my fleece are the 2 most watched videos that I have made in this now 4 years of making videos. And I've thought about trying to revisit them, but the truth is that they keep being found. And I have revisited the topic of spinning from the cloud a couple times in other videos. So there's a world of information that I have created, that I've put out there, that is waiting for if somebody wants to look at it. But on the topic of Tour de Fleece itself, I've seen the question come up, and this is one of the big things I wanted to address in today's video, is there's a question of how do I join a team? Should I join a team? What is it about a team? So when we look at Tour de Fleece in its heyday on Ravelry, different groups, different Ravelry chat groups, different Ravelry social groups would create wildcard teams. There's a Ravelry group called Tour de Fleece, and it would have moderated teams. So the moderated teams were broken into the following along with the Peloton, the Lanterne Rouge, and the rookies. So these teams were set up they're basically a social group. They weren't set up as a competition. There was never any compete against anybody else. It was a social group. It was a way to talk and chat and share your progress with other like-minded spinners. So if you were somebody who was spinning every day and had huge goals of lots of fiber, maybe you were in the Peloton. If you were a brand new spinner and you just wanted to get a little bit of help and camaraderie with other newer spinners, you might be in the rookies. Then, as I said, there were other groups that they then had their own teams because they wanted to have their own kind of social get-together and maybe participation prizes for the people participating in their group. So those teams were created and they were called wildcards. And this still exists on Ravelry. It's still active every year with more and more activity now also happening outside of Ravelry. And Facebook has a huge Tour de Fleece group. And its focus is really on that sharing, asking questions, sharing photos, getting the feedback from others if they like your yarn. So lots of different ways to participate. Some of the groups, some of the teams in the past, they would be people who were interested in, let's say, Doctor Who. Or I know one of the ones that always made me chuckle is the people who were big fans of Sherlock Holmes, Sherlocked. So these groups that came together to spin, sometimes they had something to do with fiber, but oftentimes they were social groups. Social groups getting together specifically, though, for 1 month to talk about spinning. That is Tour de Fleece. So do you need to join a team? No. Is joining a team fun? Yeah, it can be. Can you join more than one team? Yep. I think one year I was in 5 or 6 teams. So it is just a fun way to participate, to share this love of spinning with others who also love the craft. And also a way to help new spinners feel like they're part of a community. So you can join a team. You don't have to join a team. You can pick your preferred social networking avenue to participate. You can check with your local yarn stores and fiber stores to see if they have activities in-house during the month. My store usually has every Saturday of the event, they'll have a spin-in. It's a wonderful way to help also that some of the community see. So you can check in your local area. You can check with your local fiber suppliers. And maybe that you can find a in-person way to participate. So as we approach Tour de Fleece, which is now still a month away or nearly a month away, the other question that comes up besides what is it and do I need to join a team is, well, what do I need to do as far as fibers? And do I need to participate in a challenge? And what kind of things are expected of me? And the short answer is nothing is expected of you. You can do what you want to do. The longer answer is that they developed, especially on Ravelry, but also in some of the other groups, have taken on the notion of following the Tour de France, their rest days and their challenge days, their hard days, their mountain climbs and such. And so the calendar usually ends up showing 2 challenge days and 2 rest days during the month of spinning. And it's actually only about, it's just shy of a month of spinning. It's about 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks, I guess, in total. So last year, we also did a tag on with the Tour de Fleece Femmes. There is a female race that last year followed right on the heels of the men's race. This year, however, that race is delayed until after the Olympics, because of course the Olympics is taking place in France this year. So most of us are shifting gears and going from Tour de Fleece into Olympic style competition and spinning and events. But that's why I said it's usually just shy of a month. When the Tour de Fleece Femmes is added on, it's pretty much a full month of spinning. So when we need to prepare for it, we think about, well, what do I want to spin? How often do I want to spin? We also need to think about, am I physically ready to spin? Are my wheels physically ready to spin? Are my bobbins empty? And so preparing for Tour de Fleece includes getting our bodies ready, our wheels ready, our fiber ready, making some personal goals, establishing what we want to do. How often do we want to spin? Do we want to spin a certain number of, certain amount of time each day? Are we aiming to spin a certain poundage of fiber? Are we trying to learn a new technique? Those are all different things we can take into consideration as we enter Tour de Fleece, as we now spend June preparing for the event. Because what I've noticed is that the chatter of Tour de Fleece is oftentimes more, there's more volume of chatter in June leading up to Tour de Fleece than there is actually during Tour de Fleece, mainly because once Tour de Fleece starts, we're all spinning rather than running to our devices and chattering. And so I have one tip I want to share with any of the participants, especially the newbies out there who are doing Tour de Fleece for the first time. If you're on Ravelry, this can be made much simpler, but it can be done even if you're not on Ravelry. So I'm going to use Ravelry as the example, but you can do an equivalent for yourself very easily by just creating, like, say, a Facebook album would work. So in Ravelry, we have the opportunity to make projects that are viewable by everybody, projects that say, in this case, a stash. We say, okay, I have this 4-ounce braid of undyed merino wool, and I'll put that in my stash with the intent to spin it during Tour de Fleece. You can go in then and create a hand spinning project, which then can be linked to this fiber and have it ready. Oh, I have kitty visitors. Have it ready so that before the event starts, you already have your proposed fibers and your proposed spins already created as projects. If you do that, that helps because you've now uploaded the photos. You've now set your goals. You can add in notes to talk about, this is my goal. This is what I plan to do. You can create the project in its starting form ahead of the event, so that when it comes time to spin it, all you now need to do is do updates to those projects rather than create the whole projects. It's a wonderful tip if you really want to set yourself goals and you want to be able to share those photos. It's an easy way of doing it. If you're not on Ravelry and you're on the other social media, again, you could try things like albums. You could always do a paper version You can, you could make a spreadsheet. You could even add in your own photos so that you can see the progress. And that's the big thing I would like to really kind of wrap up this video on. Take photos. Take lots of photos. It's not just about sharing, which we love. We love, we love squishy fiber. We all love seeing squishy fiber. We like seeing what kind of tools you're going to use. We like seeing the process. So take photos for that purpose, but also take photos, and if you can, take some little video of you spinning. Because if you compare the beginning of the event to the end of the event, you're going to see a change. Even people who've been spinning a long time, if they are looking to challenge themselves to improve on something, to refine something, they can see a change. It's wonderful to compare our early spinning with our later spinning. And that's not just the early in our spin life versus later in our spin life. I'm talking about the beginning of an event to an end of an event. You may find by the end of an event that your spinning actually is more erratic. I know that in one of mine, the spinning that I did at the end of the event was, okay, I just need to get something done because I'm tired. So by taking the photos, you can kind of compare. You can see if you got a little too tired, if you overdid it a little bit. And that's one of the things to think about. We think about maybe, oh, well, by the time we get to the end of Tour de Fleece, I want to be really good at this. But we're also really tired. So sometimes I think adding those challenge days or having those, doing those, let's see how we compare days, having it towards the middle. We warmed up. Now we're really good and we're on our pace. And then we have a cool down phase. We leave the last spinning days for maybe plying, maybe trying something fun that's different, a smaller spin. So pacing ourselves is important. Planning ahead so that we don't feel overwhelmed is important. Remembering that it is an event that's about us. That's also important. That's, I think, the most important thing. Next to having fun. This is about having fun and sharing this joy. So if you have the opportunity to spin in public, if you have the opportunity to share the spinning with somebody who is new to spinning or has not seen spinning before, do so. It's about having the community, having fun, enjoying the community, expanding the community. That's the whole idea. So I hope that this video has helped. I do suggest if you want more spinning content, I do have it. It's just you need to look through my playlists and give a chance, give a view, whether you're new here or you've been here from the beginning. Give a view to my my compilation of 2020 Tour de Fleece videos. I don't record the same way I did then. I had a lot of fun that summer. It was a wonderful challenge for me, this whole trying to record videos and providing content and uploading it. I'm pleased with where I have reached in these 4 years. I've enjoyed making these videos. I hope to make more as the years progress. The content of my videos are all over the place. I just like to share the crafts that I'm doing. But my heart will always go back to the spinning wheels when it comes to these videos, because this is where I started. So there is another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric. I hope you take some time in your busy life to do some unwinding. And until the next time, have a wonderful day.